Hey guys, it's Everett. So I want to make you a quick video on 6 ab movements or exercises that I like to use with my, I would say, slightly intermediate to more advanced lifters. If you're a beginner at working out or exercising and you sit in the office all day, simple things like planks, as long as it doesn't cause you any pain, things like flexion work like sit-ups and crunches can be great for you. You just need to work out more for longer. With the intermediate and advanced people, I see, they can create that great ab position, that neutral spine, rib cage down, using their belly and their diaphragm to breathe, locking all that space down like they're creating a belt with their obliques and their abs. That works fine until they need to move, until they get to use their shoulders or their hips. Then that has to compensate around their hips and their shoulders, either having a lack of mobility, a lack of strength, or what have you. So these 6 movements are really designed to, let's work the abs, get in that good, safe, braced position, get us ready to deadlift or squat or barbell snatch. But let's also involve our primary engines, our hips and our shoulders, because that's what we're going to be using to do our athletic movement. All right, so here we go. First movement. So the first position is a plank variation. I thought it'd be a good idea to quickly cover what a good plank looks like. You've got a neutral spine, your rib cage is down, not flared up. Tight abs, a little bit of air in the stomach, active shoulders. Too much of a arched back in this position. And this position, we've got too much of thoracic rounding, almost like a cat pose in yoga. And lastly, this is just really weak abs. We've got the butt way up in the air, not really a plank. So we're going to get in that good plank position. And all we're going to do is lift up one arm, one leg, directly straight into the air. I call this the opposite plank. It is pretty challenging. You're going to have a good side and then a really, really bad side, most likely. You can see I'm on the ball of the foot and I've got a nice active wrist position. This is actually a variation on a decently common movement called the bird dog plank, and that's where you're on a knee instead of on your foot. So it's a regression of this movement, and it's right here. Still good plank position, but much easier. Honestly, if you can't do the opposite plank, you just need to get stronger. The bird dog plank is all right, but I like the opposite plank a lot better. Usually I see people, when they first start this, they've got their butt way up in the air like this, or you can see my foot is collapsed. I'm on my arch. So don't do either of those. Have a good plank position, ball of the foot, active wrist. Second movement or position, I'm going to get my shoulders rolled back, a little protraction or rounding of the upper back. And we're going to do plank circles. So I just call these plank circles. You want active shoulders or upper back throughout the entire movement. And it's pretty simple. Just do 3 sets of 10 either direction, 3 sets of 5 either direction. We've got our elbows on the ground, our hands are together. You're going to be up on your toes because you're going to be rolling around in a big circle. I think about this like whittling, like you're going to carve out more and more of that circle, just like you would carve out more and more of a stick with a knife. So big circles, but activity in the shoulders and the upper back throughout the entire time. All right, you're trying to keep that pretty neutral plank position. Here you'll see as I go around that circle, my butt's going way up in the air. I'm breaking that plank. There will be a little bit of a drop of the body as you go around that circle, but this is incorrect. Second incorrect version is just losing that upper back, and I've got retraction of the shoulder blades, and that back is really loose. Next position, so it's a scissor kick variation. These are scissor kicks. I've got nice tight abs, a little air in the stomach. These are flutter kicks. You've probably done these before. What we're going to do is hold that position statically. So I call this a broken scissor or a frozen scissor. It works the hip flexors and the hamstrings, and it's hard. 1 foot 6 inches above the ground. The other leg is straight kneed and up as far as you can. You can even use your hands to pull yourself into the end range. This is incorrect. I've got a bent top knee. You can probably see people shaking when they do that. And this is also incorrect. When I drop that leg, it gets much harder. So have those legs as far apart as possible. Again, big differences one side to the other. Next up, we've got a pretty popular movement. It's called thread the needle. I'm showing you an active shoulder. And my elbow's right underneath my shoulder. And I'm going to rotate as much as I can. You can see my hips aren't dropping to the ground. I've got nice stacked even hips. And I'm rotating at the shoulder and trying to touch something right behind the body. My feet are stacked. Some people ask, hey, can I stagger my feet on the floor? You can. Ideally, though, it's going to kind of mess up your hips. So I like stacked feet. If you got weird shoes, get normal shoes. And this, you can see I'm bending my knees. I'm bending my hip. This is what I do not want my clients to do. because I'm losing that good side plank position. You'll also see people not rotate at the shoulder. They'll just move their hand. Incorrect. This is also incorrect. You can see how my fist is flared out from my elbow. This is the action we want with the shoulder. It's pretty hard on the shoulders in a good way. Next movement, basic sit-ups, but with one dumbbell. This looks easy. It is way harder than it looks. All right, so go light here. We're trying to go for 0 rotation and 0 elbow bend. You can use your hand to help you up a little bit. Little regression. You can see I'm kind of emulating someone struggling, so they got to use their arm, but active shoulder, like you're pressing the ceiling up the entire movement. Ideally, we want to do this with no helping hand. So just go lighter in the weight and be humble. This is super incorrect. You can see I'm almost doing a pseudo press. I'm bending the elbow and the shoulder to do that sit up, then I'm pressing, kind of awkward and not what we're going for. If you do this straight arm, it is going to be a pretty taxing anti-rotation move for your abs and a little shoulder stability. Next movement, we're going back that good active shoulder, good side plank, not hips dip, hips active. And I call these side plank double press. So we're pressing straight out in front with a dumbbell and straight out again. So you can either do reps or reps above. Or you can do both, one forward and one backwards. You can see how I'm packing my shoulder blade behind my body, and that dumbbell is going pretty much straight down, straight up. Same thing here. If this gets too wobbly or that shoulder dumps forward in a bad position, go lighter. You're going to need to imagine a light dumbbell and then go lighter than you think for these, especially if you're doing reps 8, 10, 12, something like that. Be careful. Active shoulders in both directions. Drop the ego and do this right, and it's great for your abs and your shoulder. This is incorrect. You can see that dumbbell dropping kind of like mid-chest. You would never want to punch someone like this. So active shoulder, don't let that shoulder get pulled forward. And then going up, what you'll see people do is just bend their elbow and kind of collapse down. We want to pull that dumbbell down. So there you go, 6 moves that are obviously going to make your core and your abs stronger, but allow you to keep that good strong position while you're moving and using your shoulders and your hips. So again, they're for mobility. If you have to drop the weight to use better control and strength and focus on the move, do it. If some of those positions are really hard to move within, again, flexibility is important. Think about doing a split. That's flexibility. Now think about doing a roundhouse kick and kicking somebody in the head. That's mobility. It's flexibility with control and strength. So watch some other videos. If those are too hard or you're getting a little achy, train your flexibility. If your hips are specifically kind of jacked up or you know you need some work there, check out my website, get my hip mobility course. It's 2 hours of videos laid out like an education course, very structured. It's only $29 right now. So please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff, and see you in the next video.